All right, so I want to introduce you all to Mr. Tom Sotek. He is general manager. No, you're HR manager. That's right, HR.
Yeah, Director of
Um,
People and Culture.
yes, at the Springs Resort, works with Presidian Hospitality, and we had a great experience with the internship program last summer in Pagosa Springs, and hoping to repeat that again. I'm actually going to be up there May 1st through 2nd.
Okay, that's
I just
exciting.
booked, I just
Are
booked my
you?
reservation.
Oh, so that's not your family trip. That's
No,
something else.
my family vacation's in July. This is my excuse to go and visit and have the hot springs, and then I have
Oh
to,
yeah.
to do some recon for the family reunion. But so I'll be
Okay,
there
perfect.
first and second. But I'm looking forward to getting back there. It is truly a magical and incredible space. So I'm gonna let Tom kind of take over and talk a little bit about the internship. And then Anderson's also here to answer any questions that we have from the local Presidian perspective. But all right, go ahead, Tom.
Thank you. Just so I'm aligned, about how much time do I have?
Um, you have as much time as you'd like.
Okay, great. Your class can thank me later. Um, okay. Thank you for having Anderson and I. My name is Tom Sadek. I'm the Director of People and Culture here at the Springs Resort. And we're encroaching on something really exciting. You have two classmates in the class today, Jason and Emilio, who were our interns last summer. So I highly recommend pinging them for any questions you might have with regards to the property, our team, and just their overall experience in Pagosa Springs. I'm going to give you kind of a 50,000 foot view of who we are and what we do, our location, and what's to come. We're in the middle of gearing up for an expansion of our property. And I'll have some photos to share at the end of the slide deck that I have discussing the internship opportunity here in our property. So, Anderson in the room is with Presidian Hospitality. He's a talent acquisition manager for Presidian, and he and I have been working very closely with regards to hiring uh, additional individuals from all over the country to come move to Pagosa to help us launch our expansion, which I'll get into. So Anderson's a great resource. He's learned quite well from me on how to sell our property, but also he's been here quite often and he's very much involved in helping create and build a team that aligns with our culture. So let's see. Can you guys see? What do you see? Do you see me or do you see the slideshow?
The slides.
The slides? Okay. So you couldn't see me. That's disappointing. All right,
Also,
here we
you see at the
go.
top.
So what you see here in this photo is the Springs Resort in its current form. That bathhouse was built sometime in the 1990s. So all of these pools, and there's 25 of them, were built over the course of about 20 years from 1991 to about 2006. What you don't see is our hotel rooms, but if you can imagine, individuals will visit from Texas, New Mexico. It's a drive-in location primarily. We're fairly remote. We're about an hour from Durango, which is our largest city. There's a college there named Fort Lewis. Um, we're about 2.5 hours from Santa Fe, north of Santa Fe, 3.5 hours north of Albuquerque, and about 4.5 hours from Denver. So as people think about Colorado, we're in the southwest corner of it, which is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. But we're also jokingly the fifth largest city in Texas during the summer. They all come up to visit us. In the background there, you'll see a partial view of the San Juan Mountains. We're surrounded by 2 million acres of national forest. The river that you see there is the San Juan River. Jason and Emilio had an opportunity to whitewater. I call it whitewater. They had an opportunity to raft down the river last May. Rafting this year might be a bit questionable. We're really light on snow. Those mountains you see usually average about 350 to 400 inches of snow a year in the winter, and we're hardly above 100 inches. So this has been a very dry, very, very dry winter. So our river may not be as high as what we would like for rafting, but we can still tube down it, much like you might do in New Braunfels. So let's see. I'm going to get into a bit of our story. That's actually a serendipity pool right along the San Juan River, and that bridge that you see, takes you across the San Juan River into downtown Pagosa. There's a really neat coffee shop right across the bridge there. I'm going to play video. I can't remember if this works, David, so let me know
I
if you
think,
can't hear
hold on
anything.
one second. I think you might need to.
Welcome to the Springs Resort and Spa, Colorado's premier hot spring resort, creating a unique and caring experience for locals and travelers from all over the world. The town of Pagosa Springs is currently home to around 2,000 people, and the area surrounding downtown is home to roughly 12,000 full-time residents. Established in 1891, travelers have been coming to visit the Mother Spring, located just in front of the lodge, for millennia. Just outside of your door, you'll find 2.5 million acres of national forest and wilderness lands in the San Juan mountain range of the Rocky Mountains. Traversing these lands are roughly 650 miles of trails to hike and bike, offering adventures for every fitness level. As you start your journey with us here at the Springs Resort, it's important to learn some of our history. The first settlers came across the Great Pagosa Hot Spring over 150 years ago. Native Americans had been enjoying the waters of this natural hot mineral spring for generations before others found the special waters. The medicinal effects of the water were studied by U.S. Army physicians in the 1860s, and their reports concluded the waters of Pagosa are without a doubt the most wonderful and beneficial in medicinal effects that have ever been discovered. As the news spread and the area became more inhabited, the first bathhouse was built in 1881, 4 years after Pagosa was designated a township by the U.S. government. Once rail travel reached Pagosa in 1900, more travelers came from far and wide to seek out the waters, and then in the 1950s, new motels began to be erected for the public for those travelers who wanted to experience the healing waters. The Spring Inn eventually went out of business by the late 1980s, where new owners purchased the property in the early 1990s. At the time, the inn only had 4 plastic tubs for soaking, which were corroded and could only be filled with a garden hose. But the health-seeking movement was about to begin anew in the 90s, and the world-class resort that is today's Spring Resort was beginning to take shape. Today, the Springs Resort and Spa is a full-service hotel, spa, and natural geothermal hot spring resort. On property, we invite guests to participate in any of our complimentary wellness activities, including aqua sound bathing, restorative yoga, river walk and stretch, forest bathing hike, roll and recover, aqua yoga, guided meditation, gentle flow yoga, gratitude ceremony, and warrior plunge. These activities are designed to enhance the guest experience at the Springs. Overnight guests also get to enjoy 24 access to the soaking pools with exclusive use of plush, comfy robes and towels while on property. Soaking in water naturally helps relax our bodies and relieve stress. The organic blend of 13 minerals in our water provides a synergistic effect that promotes your body's self-healing forces. It also helps and regulates the body's internal balance. Not only is guest experience of the utmost importance, but it's also important to us that all new associates understand our mission and understand the health benefits of our healing mineral waters that define the Springs Resort. The Springs currently has 79 rooms and suites, along with 24 geothermal pools, all fed by the Mother Spring, the deepest geothermal hot spring in the world. And current amenities include a full-service spa, riverfront access, 3 dining venues, retail space, and a bathhouse for day guests. Our service culture starts with heart and love. We will be friendly, professional, clean, fun, present, and knowledgeable. All associates are empowered to create a unique, caring experience. During today's orientation, you will learn about our mission and our service culture. We want you to be empowered to be unique and caring with our guests and fellow associates.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. Um, so that's our property in its current form. And how we got here was essentially this timeline of the water that is provided to our guests and associates alike is pretty unique in its minerality. We call it the Mother Spring. It's a naturally percolating spring That is over 1,000 feet deep. We don't know how deep it is. It's the deepest geothermal hot spring in the world. Guinness Book of World Records came out and essentially allowed or let a plumb line down to see how deep it was, and it ran out of lines. So we don't actually know how deep it is. And I'll get into the minerals in a moment, but this area has been somewhat of a draw for over a millennia. The Native Americans in the area used this particular spot for healing, as well as for a time of peace. When the first settlers came, they noticed that there were footprints in and around this hot spring. And so that was their introduction into something being somewhat special as different native tribes would come and essentially use the water for healing purposes. And then you had essentially railroad travel, railroads being built throughout the 1800s, and horse and carriage brought individuals into this area from the U.S. Army. There's records of physicians in that day discussing how they felt as though the water was special and they weren't really sure why, but their soldiers were healed by basically soaking in the hot spring water. And understand too that there was our current hot spring, the mother spring, but also different springs that were finding their way to the surface. We actually have one spring that finds its way into the river. We call it the Berg, and it's a natural spring that just comes right up into the river, and individuals can soak in it. Um, in 1877, Pagosa was designated as a township, essentially. In 1881, the first bathhouse was built. In 1900s, railroad reached here and became a logging community. And then shortly after, in about 1936, the railroad ended. So there was kind of a lull until vehicles were invented, and people would travel through the mountains with their new vehicle. And the first motel was built in 1950s, which is still a hotel that we use today, and it's called the Classic. Just ask Emilio and Jason about the Classic building. In the 1980s, the Spring Inn went out of business, and so the family that owned the property was the Meese family. And the Meese family were in business across the street with an individual for a Best Western, and they ended up filing bankruptcy. And the Meese family was able to keep this land from the bank as they found it and deemed it unvaluable. And so, over the course of 2 to 3 years, the Meese family began to build the springs as we know it today. And Todd Meese is the son of Matt, who is the primary driver of that vision. He works here now at the Springs as a front office manager, and he and I are good friends. He would be an individual that you as interns would be working very, very closely with on at the front office. And so in the 1990s, they turned 4 plastic tubs into new tubs called Sunset Social Club, the Overlook, and that began the journey of the Springs as we know it today. In the 2000s, another hotel building was built, and in 2008, with the new owners, the Meese family sold it to some new owners, and they built a 3-story lodge building with an atrium. It's really nice. And in 2018, Presidian Hotels, in partnership with David Journay and Olympus Real Estate, in partnership with Charles Letty at Presidian, purchased the Springs Resort with the intention of it becoming a wellness destination, all centered around the water and its healing properties. So as we move into 2025, the vision that they had of creating this into a wellness destination will come into fruition as our new expansion and hotel, with 78 additional rooms, 27 additional pools, 4 of which will be indoors in our new spa. Our spa will be doubling in size. We'll have a 30-person cedar sauna, a thermal room where you can apply mud, and 24 outdoor pool features, and I'll show you some of those features later. A restaurant, a sit-down restaurant called the Wild Finch, The hotel will be opening April 1st, and the restaurant will be opening soon after that, May 12th. So fun facts about the water, that's the mother spring that you see right in front of our lodge building. So just to the left of the lodge building, you see an empty space and some cars and a hill. That's where the new expansion building is located. That mother spring, we don't know how deep it is. It's been measured to 1,001 feet. The water temperature at the surface is usually about 120 degrees, and then below that is as hot as 131 degrees. And all that water is pumped now to essentially what's now going to be 45 soaking pools. That mother spring expands 35 feet in diameter and is about 20 to 30 feet deep. And there's a hole, a crevice about 2 or 3 feet wide that is the actual spring that the water actually comes out of. And so we do have a pump that pumps that water to the pools. What's unique about our water is the minerality. If you were to compare our hot spring to other hot springs in the world, we have the highest concentration of minerals, much like you might see in Yellowstone. The difference is that you can actually soak in our water. Um, and it ranges from 1,400 milligrams per liter for sulfate. Sulfate also has a smell to it, sulfur. There's sulfide that occasionally will come out of the mother spring, and it's kind of varies. Some days will smell stronger than others. So that's an identifying element that we have in our water is sulfate. Sodium has the highest amount of sodium that we're aware of, and also has the same salinity as the ocean. Potassium, silica, and as you can see, they all have different healing properties that these minerals have. Chloride, lithium, fluoride, manganese, magnesium, arsenic, zinc, iron, and boron. What's really unique about our water is you can actually see the minerals floating in the water. Like we call it tufa. It's a coagulation of a lot of the different minerals. A lot of people misidentify it as dirt or something of that nature, but we have so many minerals in our water that it literally just floats. In fact, our new pools have been turned on, some of them have been turned on for not even over 2 weeks. And there's already a significant buildup of this tufa that's hardening and is creating these natural features. And I'll show you a little bit of that here soon. And so at the end of the day, scientifically speaking, as we look at these minerals, they have healing properties. And we have a doctor, his name is Dr. Copland on staff, and we call it soakology. And so guests can experience not only the healing benefits and the relaxation and restorative benefits of the water, we have activities throughout the property that allow our guests and associates to integrate with the water in a unique way. Aqua yoga is one of them. We have Tibetan sound bowls that we use in and out of the water. We're doing aqua massage in the water. There's going to be different types of wellness activities moving forward with our expansion that's going to integrate those healing benefits of the water with different activities for our guests. Our culture is driven by our owners and also our GM, Tom Inman. Our noble purpose is caring for the enhanced well-being of all. So we as leaders make decisions with ownership and also make decisions that impact our team and impact the guests. We have to ask ourselves, are we caring for that enhanced well-being of that individual? And is it impacting everybody in a positive way? And if we answer no to that question, then we typically don't move forward with a decision. So much of what we do comes from a place of heart and care. We have an idea that we want to enhance somebody. We want to enhance our guest, and clearly the water is going to impact them in a positive way, but we also want to enhance them with knowledge. We want to enhance them with the opportunity to trip over wellness in different aspects of the property. We want to ensure that we're identifying what's well-being to that individual. Are they here with the intention of doing everything and all things water, or do they want to find a place to hike? Do they want to find a great place to eat? Do they want to understand what our offerings are here at the property with regards to our amenities, our food offerings, the different activities we have, understanding that individual guest and how we can help guide them on their journey here. And at the end of the day, are we enhancing the well-being of everybody? And so we do quite a lot to support our team here in Pagosa. It's a small community of 1,500 people. The county is about 15,000 people. It feels a little bit busier during the summer because we have so many visitors in the summer coming out of the heat from Texas coming up to the mountains. And so um, we act with this purpose in mind so that we impact everyone that we interact with in a positive way. And our team does a very good job of taking the time to understand and learn. And we're very open and we're very open to communication in all aspects. We want to ensure that our team is heard and that they're valued. Charles Letty is the individual on the left. He's CEO and president actually of Escalara Capital. Presidian is now an umbrella organization underneath Escalara. And David Drenay is our principal owner of the Springs Resort. Our vision has been updated and is to become the best hot springs-based wellness resort in America by providing thoughtful water and nature-based experiences, as well as exceptional and compassionate service that have a profound impact on the well-being of our guests. This is what the summer internship looks like for this year. A little bit different from last year. Basically, how it's going to be aligned with the front office experience. So 8 weeks essentially working at the front office with the hotel, which will be working directly with Todd Meese and his front office team. And then 2 weeks integrated throughout those 8 weeks cumulatively with our front office management and myself and others on property. It's a little bit dynamic. There were opportunities where Jason and Emilio had experiences in different departments as they grew to know the different leaders and were able to work different areas and experience different guest journeys. So there is that opportunity. The summertime is very busy and it's very dynamic. And so we have a lot of fun with that opportunity of just sharing those different departments with our team. This, I believe, is a video of the expansion, and I'm going to show you some photos. So you'll see on the left-hand side, there's the lodge, three-story lodge building, and all the pools, most of them have been built right alongside the San Juan River. And that smaller building right there is our second food and beverage outlet called 1881. The water spewing out there, that pool's called Tooth Turnout. And then, so it's three-tiered pools. That's where the adult area begins. So all these pools down on this end are adult only. You'll see that there's what looks like a river running through the property. That's like a meandering river there. Now we're approaching the spa, and you'll see there's some pools right outside the spa. The spa is going to have 12 treatment rooms, 3 indoor treatment pools. Let me pause this. Okay. Can you see my cursor here?
Yes.
Okay, great. Awesome. All right. So over here, well, I'm going to take advantage of this then. I'm going to go back. Sweet. All right. So this is our expansion building. We have 78 rooms now here with 6 suites, very large suites. Right here, you can't really see. Oh, here it is. This is our sauna, 30-person sauna that overlooks the mountains. Below here are 3 indoor soaking pools with in the spa. The spa down here on this side is kind of a relaxation waiting area. There's 12 treatment rooms now. This area over here is a couples room, massage room with its own private couples massage pool. So guests can rent it for 2 hours. They get an hour massage and they get an hour before or after to soak in their private pool. This is the spa retail space. This is a very large window in the spa that will overlook our wellness pool. The adult area starts about right here. So all of this is kind of our family friendly This is a three-story lodge. This is the expansion. This is our new food and beverage outlet here. These are really nice cabanas. They don't actually look like that. They're built in. They're beautiful. Um, all these pools up here are the social area. We have a waterfall here, which is going to be geothermal water and river water. So it's a contrast bathing experience that we have here. This is like a Roman Greco style circular pool where people can sit on the exterior or the interior so they can face one another and they can have this social environment. I mean, water running here, this waterfall running here. There's a fountain that'll be running. So there's going to be a lot of water surrounding the guests in this particular area. This here is what we call the grotto. I have a better picture of that. It's a cave. So this is the adult area, so 18 and over, all in this area, which will include all of our wellness activities. There's a plunge area down by the river you can access. They'll do yoga out here by the river as well. These pools up here are pretty large. As we come down here, this area right here is what's called a reflexology walk. The reflexology walk is going to have about 6 to 8 inches of geothermal water that's going to cover your feet, and then you'll be walking across river water that will massage the bottom of your feet. Here, okay. All this lower level is spa. Pools. In here is a geothermal soaking pool for aqua massage. So imagine floating in the water and then you're being massaged and you're like it feels like you're in the womb. It's pretty cool. Outside here is the wellness activity pool, which can fit up to 30 people. So that's where all of our activities will be for wellness, which with in the water, like aqua yoga, um, aqua sound bathing, aqua stretching, this kind of stuff. This is going to be a river plunge. So we're going to pump river water up into this pool for a cold plunge. You can see people are kind of chilling out in there, waiting for their massage. This is a sauna. On the flip side is a mud room, a thermal room where you can apply mud. And sir, get a pretty good idea there. All these windows will open up to the outside during the summer. On this side of the building, this is our restaurant called the Wild Finch. We can sit 65 indoor and then up to 140 in total with this outdoor space. We already have a chef. We've hired her. Her name is Chef Dea out of Galveston, Texas. She's wonderful and has a great menu planned. That menu is also going to allow us to have banquets up in this banquet area and an outdoor space. So that'll be about 140 individuals that we can host. This is one entry into the hotel, and then the other entry, which is the main entry, is on the other side. However, this whole space is going to be an event space. So the intention is individuals will be able to come and experience a concert outside. This window, well, you can't really see it. Let me go back. This window you can hardly see is actually a service window to our bar. So individuals can walk up to this service window, order a drink, and enjoy the happenings that are going on in this event space, which is right next to our Mother Spring as well. So this is our banquet space here. Is a banquet kitchen in the back and some outdoor seating here. So these are some recent photos I took. This is from the street across from across the river. So this is the new expansion building. Jason and Amelia, we've got signs up now. I mean, it's coming along. This is when we had snow. You can see the steam coming from some of our new pools, so you can kind of get an idea of what this space looks like from an outdoor setting. That steam you see here is our Mother Spring. This was when we were below 0 degrees, and this entire skyline here was filled with steam from all of our pools in the Mother Spring. These are the pools that you see here, and the water's blue, guys, because that's the minerals. We don't do anything to those pools. In fact, the interior of the pool is red with this flagstone. This is all the minerals that you see. This is the San Juan River, and then these are some geo grow domes that the city has. They're pretty neat. This is the Greco-Roman circular pool called Tufa Turnout. It's one of the pools along the river here. That's my daughter Dylan testing the water, checking it out. This is that waterfall I was discussing. So this will be geothermal water, and then this will be river water. So the intention is you can contrast bathe literally by stepping to your left and to your right. And so our team will have an opportunity to engage with, this is in the family area, to engage with um, families and children and partners and parents and the grandparents and everything else to educate them on what contrast bathing is. This right here is a runnel that runs all the way through the property where all the pools that are on the upper tier flow into this runnel. And so we also intend to have like ducks floating down for some of the children playing in that area. This is the grotto. This is a cave that we built. So this will be a soaking cave. There's water that flows over top, as you can see, and then it'll be filled with soaking water, mineral water. The best time of year to soak is literally in the winter, having snow fall on top of you. Your hair freezes. It's awesome. So all these pools run over like this, and then they find their way back into the river. So essentially, we own the right to use the mineral water, and then it finds its way where it's trying to go, which is its intention is back into the river. Hearing that for a second. Um, I want to review a little bit about what it would feel like coming to the Springs, where you might be living, and that kind of thing. We purchased a new property called the San Juan Motel, which is within a mile of the property in the downtown area. Um, we will have 30 studio efficiencies that will be available, as well as 15 cabin style type one bedroom cabins on this property. Um, there will be a shared kitchen space with three a shared dining area for for the 30 studio efficiencies, and a commercial kitchen with three areas to cook, as well as laundry on site. That's not coin operated. It's included with the rent. There's a dog park on property. It butts right up against Reservoir Hill, which is a hiking area. There's actually a hiking entrance nearby. There's a green space and plenty of parking for those individuals who are staying. That's our workforce housing for our current employees, our employees that will be onboarding soon, and then potentially some of you in the classroom who choose to stay with us. Basically, what we're looking at is all utilities included for studio efficiency, and I'm happy to send photos as they are near completion here, for $850 a month, basically. And the way we arranged it with our team last year is we deducted it from their paycheck biweekly. Uh, we have partnerships within the community. As you see behind me, we have hot air balloons. So hot air balloons go up every morning in Pagosa. Rocky Mountain Balloon is the partnership that we have, and we send up a lot of our team into hot air balloons. Professor Minsky and Jason and Amelia were able to go up together this past summer. Interns will have the opportunity to do that. We'll have the opportunity to either raft or tube down the river, depending on the amount of water that we have running through the river. We have partnerships within the community to get free rentals such as paddle boards, tubes, kayaks, and things of that nature if you're adventurous and want to go do that. We have plenty of hiking throughout the community. North of us, we have Pagosa Peak and Piedra Falls and Williams Reservoir and different areas to hike. Our partnerships in town also include discounts for different retailers for different types of items, such as hiking, snowboarding, skiing. You guys won't be here for that, but we do have free rentals for that in the winter for our team. And we have a retail store here called Vormy, which has really high-end, very, very well done product. We have a significant discount there. It's unique to Pagosa and Bozeman, Montana. Um, we have the opportunity to rent bikes now at a significant discount to go bike riding in the mountains. And really, at the end of the day, if there's something that someone wants to experience, we have the ability to try to help make that happen. Um, we have competitive pay for the summer. The intention is more of an experience, but there is the opportunity to make some money here. Our competitive pay is basically $16 to $18 per hour, depending on experience that you may have. We have the opportunity to create guest impact on property. So we pride ourselves in essentially receiving a guest in a welcoming nature and providing them the opportunity to become enhanced based on the knowledge and experience that we provide them. And so if the guest decides to take the business card that you provide them with their name on it and a QR code and they leave a review, and your name is mentioned in that review and we read reviews every week, you have a $25 incentive there. And so several people on property will make several $100s more per pay period because they have that type of impact that the guest feels so compelled that they want to leave a review. We had a guest last year at the end of the summer leave a review with about 25 names on it. I won't say who it was, but he might be in that room sitting there with you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. That was a fun one to read. Tom Inman was like, "Oh my gosh, how much is Emilio costing us for this review?" But
Literally, I take 1 hour to that review. So they
did it really? I kind of figured. Um, but at the end of the day, that's what drives our culture is the guest enhancement and the guest experience. Our associates on property who are able to engage with the guests and also their team. And as we move into the expansion and those interns that come this summer, we'll have the opportunity to open a new hotel, open basically new offerings for our guests, including a restaurant, new offerings from the wellness side of things, and really pulling in that vision that our owners have had for the past 6 to 7 years. And it's really interesting because I came on to the team about 2 years ago, and they were just drilling the foundation, and there was dust flying everywhere, and it was really hard to conceptualize where we were going to be at. And now we're kind of entering into that time of a really exciting moment for us where we're being recognized across the world, and we're going to be in a pretty big, large publication coming up here in March and April that we weren't anticipating. And so as we continue to gain more and more attention to us, it's going to be an opportunity for our team to really shine and meet lots of individuals from around the world and impact their life in a really positive way. And that's the experience that most of you could look forward to this summer. So I'm going to leave it up to open up for some questions. I fully expect Emilio and Jason to ask a question. So please feel free to ask any questions that either myself or Anderson might be able to answer for you.
Yes, go ahead, Madison.
Nope, I lost it.
You lost your question? Okay, comes back, let us know. Anybody else? Sarai,
Is it only summer internships?
are you only doing internships?
Yeah.
Okay.
Currently, right now, we're doing summer internships. I could see the potential of different internships going into maybe a winter semester or something like that in the future, but right now it's summer.
But there is the potential, 'cause I know at one point Emilio had the consideration of staying on after the internship was over into the fall season, if it works out.
Absolutely. We were ready to welcome him for the fall with open arms, and then he got a really great offer to go back to San Antonio. So I'd like to think we had something to do with that too, but maybe not.
Awesome. Any other questions?
How is the drive to go over there? How long is it taking? Like, where's the warmer? Like,
All right, go ahead, Madison.
How How would we apply for the internship? Will we apply through him or through you?
Yeah, so there's a link to apply. I'll be sure to send that link after this call, and he can forward it to you. There's a link on our website that you do the application process. It also includes just a really short essay on a little bit about who you are and why you want to come to Pagosa. I will say that definitely have a conversation with those individuals in the room that experience Pagosa because you kind of have to be ready for it and have a certain mindset of, okay, I'm going to go immerse myself into a culture in Southwest Colorado. And you look at all the things that are available here. And I always jokingly tell those who are looking to either move here and work here, which we've done a lot of screening, is find out what Pagosa has, find out or determine what it is you need. Does Pagosa have it? And if they don't, if we don't, how far do you have to go to get it? That's a really important question to ask. And so if you're somewhat of a minimalist and you're like, I don't really go out after 9 o'clock at night, so Pagosa is great for me. If you're someone who likes to go out till 2 in the morning, there might be one spot here in town that stays open late called Hidden Tracks. It's a kind of a speakeasy place, and that's probably about it. If you're an outdoors individual and want to explore nature or just be a part of a team that really just kind of leans on one another for an entire summer, and you have it's mild temperatures, 70 to 85 in the summer. Doesn't get too terribly hot. The sun is pretty intense though. We are at altitude, so it takes a little bit to get acclimated. So it's different, right? One thing to remember is when you come here, you're still like surrounded by Texans, so there's that. You feel at home at times.
So how often um are the with the someone who's doing an internship, how often would they be able to partake in various activities offered at the resort?
Okay, great question. We try to schedule some kind of in the beginning and the end of their experience here. So as they come into town in May, there's a river activity. In the latter part of August, when their internship kind of wanes down, there's an opportunity to go up in a hot air balloon. So we bookend it with that. In between, it really depends on what you're looking for. So there's an opportunity to engage in those activities on site, which are open to all of our associates at really any point in time. I know that, well, one of the questions would be, can you soak? So yes, our associates have the opportunity to soak uh, anytime during normal operation hours, including the new pools coming up with up to 8 friends. So I know that our associates and interns last year took advantage of the soaking quite frequently. My family was pretty much involved with introducing Emilio and Jason to different hiking trails. We took them out to dinner on a couple different occasions, had them over to our home to play games and that kind of thing. And so I would anticipate that feeling very similar as to last year. Outside of that, the activities that individuals want to do are pretty much on your own when it comes to the middle portion of that summer. And we're happy to help set those up throughout the summer, connect you with the right people, connect you with people on property who do those hikes. We don't hunt during the summer, but we have a lot of hunters on our team. We have a lot of bike riders on our team. So it's finding those types of individuals that you can kind of connect with and be introduced to those types of things. I could probably see some razor rides happening this summer, which is basically going through the pass in some of these areas of the mountains that I got to experience at the tail end of my summer last year. So I could see our project manager, Nate, being convinced to take out some interns on his razor. So to answer your question, we schedule some, but there's also a lot of opportunity for you to go out and explore on your own and connect with team members who do those things as well.
Are we allowed to invite like friends and family up to the hotel so they can experience the hot springs and Pagosa?
Great question. Yes, absolutely. So during the summer, we do stay pretty much at capacity. However, with the new rooms, there may be an opportunity where this benefit might actually come into fruition. So I'll take a step back. Our associates have the opportunity to bring friends and family to soak, up to 8 guests with them when they're not working. And while they're working, so long as the manager knows, their guests can soak in the hot springs for free while they're working. So all of this is free. Um, Friends and family can experience discounted massages so long as so long as it's more of a couples arrangement. So if you were to bring your mother up or partner or grandmother or whatever that looks like, they'll get 50% off their massage so long as you're with them also getting a massage. So that's kind of nice. They'll have access to the sauna and the mudroom with you working here at the Springs. And we also have room rates that are affordable as well for associates. So basically that ranges from with fees and taxes, $110 to $140 a night, where they can come stay at the hotel and they have 24-hour access to soaking just like any other guest would. And so we'll have upwards around 150 rooms going into the summer. And so if you have a family member who's visiting, let's say middle of the week, maybe a Monday or Tuesday, they're more likely to have the ability to stay at the hotel because our weekends are obviously very booked. Wednesday through Sunday, we're pretty busy, but there will be sometimes an occasional date or two here and there where they can come up and stay. I know that Emilio's family came and stayed at the end of the summer, and they came and stayed at the hotel at a discounted rate. So the answer to all of that is yes, they're welcome to come and enjoy and experience the Springs. In most cases for free, unless they stay at the hotel.
Um, so I'm assuming this is full time, but can you kind of go through what a schedule would look like during the week or weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we put our mind in front desk, so what we're talking about is hotel front desk check-in. And so those shifts typically are from 7 to 3. There's a mid shift from 11 to 7, and then there's an evening shift from 3 to 11. And so it could be any number of those shifts. A typical day is going to be, let's say, in a morning shift. There's folding of robes and towels for our guests that they receive at the front desk. There is providing them knowledge of the property of what they can experience on property. Check-in time typically starts around 4 o'clock. However, guests can come early and they can check in. They may not get the room right away, but they can go soak while they wait. And when they check out, they can also soak for the remainder of that day until we close the bathhouse at 9:30. And there is weekend coverage, so we're a 365-day, 24/7 operation. So from 7 a.m. to 11 at night, we have front desk coverage in some capacity, assisting guests, checking them in, checking them out. Again, providing them knowledge on the property or providing them robes and towels. We have a concierge service where we have packages that we sell. So there's delivering those packages to the room, strawberries, champagne, that kind of thing. We empower our associates to recognize something that might be special or make that connection with a guest. So if a guest arrives and they're here for an anniversary and we were unaware of it and our team learns about it, they are empowered to make that special, be it provide a nominal amount of breakfast vouchers or food vouchers for the property, perhaps a bottle of champagne to celebrate their anniversary. It really just depends on the situation and what we have available at that time. They're welcome to do all of that. And so this shift is going to be something for a full-time individual, minimum 32 hours up to 40 hours a week. I know that our team, our minimum full-time requirement from a benefits package perspective is 30 hours. Yet, if individuals want to work 40 hours a week, we welcome them. Because what ends up happening here in Pagosa is that we have full-time individuals who work 30 hours a week and they're completely content with that. And so that schedule will be built around a morning shift, a mid shift, and an evening shift. So the interns will have exposure to all of that because each shift provides a different experience. No doubt. And we do have a security team that starts 4 to 5 in the evening and stay until 1 or 2 in the morning. And so they have that overlapping coverage to help and assist with our team on property.
Yes, Alondra.
We're responsible to like transfer ourselves over there, right? Like we have to pay for our transportation?
Yes, yeah, so she asked if they get accepted, then they're responsible for their transportation to get to and from the resort.
Yes. So getting to Pagosa is largely your responsibility. Would highly recommend if you're considering it, understanding, will you have a vehicle or won't you? If you're able to bring a vehicle with you, that's great. Last year, they carpooled up together and shared a vehicle. So, if there's an individual in the class that you're close with that is also considering this, there's a couple advantages there. One, you can share the expense of coming up here. Two, you can share the expense of the rental for the internship itself for the summer, and you have a support system there and an understanding that you're both kind of going through it together. I know that's helpful, but our team is always here to support you. So if you have any kinds of questions with regards to travel or how to get here or what that might look like, just let us know. If you're an individual who may not have access to a vehicle while you're here, there is a bus system here that takes you downtown and uptown to the grocery and that kind of thing. Because our housing will be downtown where a lot of the happenings are at, and then there's a bus system that takes you uptown to where there's a Walmart and like a Kroger, City Market, and other restaurants you can go visit.
I have a question. This is a little more related to just kind of working at the property like this. And like it's kind of two questions. So being like HR or sales, is that still like a traditional Monday through Friday, like kind of, 8 to 5 with, every here and there? And then also, do y'all staff the same number of like managers year round or during the busy season? Do you kind of have like a little bit of a seasonal, maybe like more assistant managers, or just regular managers available?
Okay, great question. So typically our leadership team, which encompasses front office leadership, front office manager, housekeeping director, and assistant housekeeping manager, a hotel director of hotel engineering and a chief engineer. We have our bathhouse manager and their supervisors. We have our pool engineer, director, and he now has an assistant pool engineering manager. We have our spa director of wellness and director of spa combined, and we have a spa manager. Um, we have our food and beverage team. We're currently still trying to find a director of food and beverage, but we have a chef on the leadership team. We have our assistant food and beverage manager on our food and beverage side. And so that kind of answers your question. Those are all full-time, year-round positions. The intention that we have moving forward is all of our associates that we're hiring, even the ones we're recruiting, the intention is that they're full-time year-round because we want them to be a part of our culture and grow with us in that culture. Having to bring in new individuals every summer seasonally, for example, makes it hard on the housekeeping team from a training perspective, makes it difficult for the food and beverage team. There's enough individuals who have a lifestyle of living outdoors, not that you live outdoors in Pagosa, but having experience of outdoors that they're full time. So your question is twofold. One, majority of our staff is full-time year-round, and the ones that we're hiring are full-time equivalents year-round. And as a result, as it comes to like assistant managers and managers, those are all individuals we intend to try to hire from within, unless we're looking for someone with a tremendous amount of experience, say food and beverage director. So we don't expand those positions throughout the year, but also know that this is a learning curve for us. So I jokingly said with Jason and Emilio that last year it was a transition period. We were growing into, and Jason actually likened it to having a baby, like we were about to birth a baby. And so that's kind of what it was like, where we're in this transition period of all these really great, cool things that we want to do, but it was a little bit difficult to do in our current form. And now as we expand, we have capacity to do the wellness activities that we want to on a more regular basis. We're going to have an on-site restaurant. It's going to feel much more like a resort where you don't really necessarily have to leave it. Whereas right now it's kind of a hodgepodge put together. So the intention is we'll fulfill that vision. We're going to continue to learn and grow. So if you were to ask me the same question a year from now, it could look completely different. But our intention is to hire full-time, year-round individuals for all positions.
And remind me,
So I want to take a step back. In the leadership group, salary expectations are typically minimum 40 hours a week. I can tell you that I put in 60 to 65 hours at minimum. That includes staying late, supporting the team. That includes being here for events over the weekend occasionally. If it's a big weekend, being a support system. We do have a manager on duty shifts for the weekend. So if you're a good leader and you're one who supports your team, you're likely making yourself more available at the sacrifice of something else. But you got to find that balance, right? So I have a family. I have 4 children at home. I call them children. I have one at ASU and I have one that's going to be a graduate and I have 2 others. And I have my wife at home. Her name's Heidi. And so we make it work. And what oftentimes happens is they come to my work and they soak just to be near me as I'm continuing to work through the evening. They'll come soak at the springs and I'll come visit them and have dinner with them, and that kind of thing. So we as a leadership team stay very, very busy.
what are the dates?
That's a great question. I have it on the internship. So the intention is basically end after Memorial Day, end May, beginning of June. So we look at kind of like that first week of June as a start date, and then you can kind of extrapolate that into 10 weeks. If someone wants to come early, we're happy to take them early. I know that happened last year. It kind of gives them an opportunity to kind of acclimate and integrate. And then we have the opportunity to potentially allow them to stay a bit longer. So it's a 10-week program that will start first week of June. However, the opportunity to come early is there a week or so. We'll have the housing capability to do that and also probably the staffing need for that. So I'll have it's on the link. I don't have it in front of me, but when you go look at the application, it has dates on there of when to expect to be interviewed, when to expect to have the initial conversation of coming on board, and then also kind of working out the housing type considerations.
Yeah, oh, yes, go ahead. Yes, applications are open now, correct?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've already received one application, and then some random application from Arkansas. Somehow they found the website. And so I'll send out that link and they're open. So take your time. We'll probably be looking at those applications throughout the month of February and March, and then start contacting individuals in April when we slow down a little bit. And once we open the hotel, I'll have the capacity to have those virtual interviews in April. And then we'll make a decision mid-April, and then you'll have plenty of time to kind of arrange and get prepared for that arrival date sometime end of May, beginning of June.
Questions? Comments, concerns? Yes.
The internship is gonna be from June 9 to August 15, 2025.
Awesome.
Let me link it.
Thank you, Emilio. I appreciate that.
You just go to the Springs Resort website and then on the search option, you just press internship and it's gonna be going up to you.
Okay, sweet. And I'll post it as an announcement in Canvas as well. To give you the direct link.
Cool.
All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Yes, Emilio.
How many students is gonna be for this year in the internship? They're gonna be approved?
We'll start with 2, similar to last year. However, I think what it really boils down to is the type of candidate, whether they fit our culture, whether they're ready to come to Pagosa, and what our potential needs are. As we go into May and we start to expand, we might have an additional opportunity or conversation about, hey, we have these other positions that are available for the summer. They're not front desk related, but they're definitely hospitality related. We'll have those conversations. So we're very flexible, but two for sure. I think that makes sense. I want to try to keep it as intimate as possible, so that they have a similar experience as Jason and Emilio did last year, because I want to ensure that the amount of energy that we put as a team and myself and my family do is the same as last summer, so that it makes it more of just come to Pagosa and work a job. You're part of a family. That's the intention.
All right.
So I'm going to ask a question real quick with Emilio and Jason in the room. How would you describe myself and the leadership team in a few words?
Words.
We were autographic hotel. That's described like nothing. Autographic description in hotels is like anything else. Like you're unique. You're like a unicorn on the university. We can say like that. You're
That's a really great description. We're a bit hokey. We're a bit hokey. I think a unicorn is a good description. We don't take ourselves too seriously here. We definitely try to have fun, and we're not stuffy. We're playful. Um, we try to hold individuals accountable as best as we can, but human nature sometimes says you got to be a bit flexible and have some gray area with individuals. And people describe me as a father, brother, and a friend here on property. So yeah, it's a pretty unique place. The water makes it special. Anderson, do you have anything to add?
I've gotten to go there twice and it's just absolutely beautiful. The soaking is the best part, and with the expansion, I think be able to say you got to work somewhere where it's gonna be the top resort in America. So pretty cool opportunity for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also too, so May, I think will be my third visit. And then July will be my fourth visit, and that's just in like a year and a half's time frame. So I'm slightly obsessed, and I think the other thing that's cool about it is you have an opportunity to get that resort experience without having to work at a resort that has 2,000 rooms on it. Like when you think about like a traditional like Caribbean resort that has thousands of rooms or hundreds of rooms. So you get that kind of experience of that resort feel without having to have that stress of a monstrosity of a property. So and then if you do get selected, I mean, I don't know if you ever get tired of soaking, but I don't think I ever would. So I literally last time I was visiting with my friend, um, I was doing some homework and I was on the computer and I was like, I literally felt like my fingers were just floating across the keys, just barely touching. And I was like, I don't know if it's just because I'm in this area or if I've been soaking for 24 hours. I mean, I'm the guy that goes out there at 2 o'clock in the morning and by myself, nobody else is out there, see the stars, and it's a incredible experience. So I highly recommend it.
If you've never been out of San Antonio, I also recommend it because it's gonna be a culture shock, actually. It's gonna be a tempo change. It's so different from San Antonio, but it's so welcoming. I can't say enough good things about Pagosa or the Springs. Like, definitely consider it, even if you don't know if you want to do it, apply and, see what happens.
Yeah. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Emilio.
On that internship, that was my first time out of the San Antonio, like living here for 5 years already. I started living in Pagosa a little bit more longer about just the internship. It was wonderful. They are so friendly with my family. Everyone recognized my mother, my grandma, and my aunts when they're in the hotel with me. Um, I tell them don't bring clothes. Honestly, you pass the whole time in row. It's wonderful. The time great. The family of Tom is wonderful with you. I spent a lot of time with Mr. Tom and his family soaking, going to Rango, just driving one day and then coming back. Remember that? Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
Uh, People, when I come back from San Antonio at my work, they ask me like, how is your experience in Pagosa or in Colorado? I don't have like enough to say.
Awesome.
Thank
Cool.
you. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
See you in April.
Really appreciate it. Um,
Yeah, come up in April. We'll have plenty of rooms.
Yeah,
Come on
that's in April 1st.
Okay. Yeah. Just let us know.
Yeah.
We'll hook you up. Well, thank you
Awesome.
everyone for taking the time. Take advantage of Anderson there at Presidian as well. They have a lot of tremendously great properties locally. And the other nice thing too is that if you were to come in to an internship with the Springs, we can easily transfer you to a local property if you want to stay within that umbrella with Presidian. There's that opportunity too. But you know, Jason and Emilio's experience speaks for itself. We are a very welcoming community. It's very much in the middle. Like this past election, I always talk about this. I lived in Tennessee for 11 years, and there was political signs everywhere there. Like everywhere you look, there's like this person, that person, this, that, whatever. Here, you didn't see it. It was so refreshing. And I think the people here in Pagosa are just genuine good people who just want to live their life and allow other people to live their life. And here on property, we get to kind of provide that to people coming to our property to slow down. And so when they come to our property and they come to Pagosa, things slow down. And you begin to learn that you don't need certain things in your life because it's like, shoot, I can't go out or I don't have whatever is accessible to me, typically in San Antonio. And then you learn to kind of just forget about that. And then you develop into a different type of person. And when you move back to San Antonio or go back to a big city, you're like, oh my gosh, this is too much. The best message I got was from both of those individuals sitting in that room, and they basically said, "We miss it." And I think what they mean by that is they miss that feeling of not feeling like you have to keep up with everything, that you have to go to the next thing, and that you have to do all these things because they're just, it's different. And so I think spiritually you find a part of you that you didn't know existed when you come here, for sure. So
Yeah.
thank you, everyone. I'm looking forward to all the applications and then the future virtual interviews. So I'm actually going to be in San Antonio in a couple weeks. So if that's the case, I'll try to come by and visit. It'll be like on a Thursday or a Wednesday, but I'll let you know.
yeah, that sounds great. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Well, I'll see you then, and then I'll also see you May 1st.
That sounds awesome.
Awesome. Thanks.
All
Talk
right.
to you
Thank you.
later.
Take care.
Bye.